There's a narrow window each year when clay soil can finally be turned from stubborn, compacted earth into the living, breathing foundation your garden deserves. Miss it, and by spring you'll be back to cracking clods, poor drainage, and plants that just sit still, no matter how much compost you throw at them. The truth is, clay soil doesn't need more fertilizer or constant tilling, it needs timing, and the best time to feed it isn't spring or midsummer when most gardeners are focused on planting. The secret month lies right before winter truly sets in, when microbes are still active but competition from plants is gone. The best month to feed clay soil is late October through early November before the ground freezes but after the heat has faded. This period is a golden moment for one reason: soil biology is still alive. As temperatures drop, clay's tight particles begin to shift microscopically, creating openings for organic matter to slip in. That's when you want to feed it. Once frost hits and the top few inches harden, microbes go dormant, and your efforts mostly sit on the surface until spring. But when you add organic material now, compost, biochar, or decomposing mulch, it actually moves deeper into the clay through natural freeze-thaw cycles, becoming part of the structure. If you wait until spring, clay is too compact and wet to work properly. Tilling or mixing then just smears it tighter, sealing oxygen out. But in late fall, while it's moist yet friable, you can layer and feed the soil without disturbing its texture. This timing allows decomposition to continue slowly all winter, turning hard mineral clay into microbe-rich loam by planting season. Clay soil doesn't need to be broken, it needs to be fed the right way. Most gardeners make the mistake of attacking clay with brute force, turning it, tilling it, or mixing in sand to loosen it. Those approaches destroy soil structure. Clay improves not by breaking apart, but by aggregation, tiny particles binding together through organic matter and microbial action. When you add the right carbon sources at the right time, the soil starts building its own porosity. So, the ideal feeding blend for late fall clay work is actually 2 parts compost to 1 part coarse organic material, like shredded leaves straw, or even decomposed wood chips. The compost brings biology to the table, while the coarse material, well, that provides structure. For every square meter of soil, you'll want to mix or layer about 5 centimeters of compost, then follow that up with another 3 to 4 centimeters of carbon material. After that, water lightly to activate those microbes, but, avoid soaking it. Too much water just forces air out, and oxygen is really what the organisms need most. Over winter, this layer slowly transforms, and by March or April, you're left with a crumbly topsoil that's just ready for planting. Adding life now is what ensures that clay soil doesn't suffocate during winter. Clay, you see, has one major flaw: it traps everything. Water, nutrients, and even gases get locked up in its fine texture. That's why drainage is usually poor, and roots just struggle to breathe. When those cold rains set in, this problem gets even worse, turning beds into airless puddles. Feeding the soil now with biologically active material actually prevents that suffocation. Compost introduces aerobic bacteria and fungi that carve out channels through the clay, creating these micro-pathways that stay open, even under freezing conditions. One of the most effective ways to do this is by top dressing with unfinished compost. Yeah, the kind that's still a bit rough. Unfinished compost keeps breaking down over winter, which keeps microbial activity alive and gently heats the soil's surface through microbial respiration. This slow warmth actually helps prevent hard freezing and promotes better moisture movement. By spring, that rough material finishes decomposing into a humus-rich soil that drains well but still holds onto nutrients. Mineral balance actually matters more in clay than just about any other soil type. Even if clay soil is well fed, it really can't transform unless it's got the right minerals to unlock its structure. Calcium and magnesium, for example, control the spacing between those tiny clay particles, while trace elements like sulfur and iron, they influence how efficiently microbes can work. The best month to correct these minerals is also late October, since soil moisture at that time helps distribute them more evenly. For a balanced amendment, you'll want to use about 1 cup of gypsum per square meter. This adds calcium without messing with your soil's pH. Just be sure to avoid lime unless your soil test shows acidity below 6, because most clays already sit pretty close to neutral. Gypsum is great because it improves flocculation, which, simply put, is the process that lets clay form stable crumbs instead of those tight sheets. For some added resilience, mix in about 2 tablespoons of powdered sulfur per square meter. This supports the fungi that help turn organic matter into humus. After you spread these minerals, water gently to help move them into the topsoil, and then cover everything with mulch to really seal in the work. Mulching after feeding locks the process in place and prevents nutrient loss. The final step before winter is to insulate everything you've just added. Without mulch, rainfall can wash compost and minerals away, and the freeze-thaw cycle can expose microbes to killing cold. The right mulch acts like a protective quilt. For clay soil, avoid fine materials like grass clippings that compact easily. Use chunky carbon-rich mulch, wood chips, shredded bark, or coarse straw, applied 2 to 3 inches thick. This layer does more than protect. It becomes part of the soil ecosystem by spring. As worms and fungi move upward to feed, they pull the mulch down naturally. By April, that waste is turned into nutrient pathways, helping roots breathe and grow deep. It's a self-working system. You just need to set it up in the right month and let nature take over. By feeding clay soil in late fall, you're not just preparing for next year, you're building permanent fertility. Each season you repeat this process, the transformation compounds. Clay that once stuck to your boots will begin to crumble in your hands, earthworms will multiply, and water will drain through without stagnating. The best part is that this improvement is permanent. Humus-stabilized clay doesn't revert easily to its hard, lifeless state, but timing remains everything. Skip this fall window, and you lose months of microbial progress. Come spring, you'll be starting over from solid, airless ground. Clay isn't the enemy of good gardening, it's a test of patience and biology. Feed it at the right time, and it becomes the most nutrient-rich soil type on your property. Ignore it, and it stays a barrier to everything you plant. If you found this guide helpful and want to keep your beds thriving all year long, make sure to subscribe to Hydro Haven and share this video with other gardeners who struggle with heavy soil. Clay can be turned into gold, but only if you work with its rhythm, and that rhythm starts right now.